Let's be honest. The world talks about sex everywhere, but rarely with truth, purpose, or healing. Society has turned something sacred into something purely physical, forgetting that intimacy is emotional and spiritual too. Today, we are going to break that silence. We are going to talk about sex without borders. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Purpose Coaching with Jean. I am so glad that you are here. This is a place where faith meets purpose and where real conversations lead to real growth. Whether you are seeking clarity, healing, or direction, my goal is to help you discover the purpose God's placed within you and work boldly in it. But before we begin, please don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and share it with anyone who may find it useful. So, when I say sex without borders, I am talking about the removal of walls that keep people from understanding intimacy the way God designed it. As someone studying mental health, I have learned that silence and shame often surround this topic. So many people carry wounds tied to intimacy, feelings of guilt, rejection, or even confusion. Some grew up in a home where sex was never discussed, while others were taught it was wrong or dirty until marriage, and then certainly expected to see it as beautiful. That kind of confusion stays deep inside. And the truth is, avoiding this subject doesn't bring healing. When something stays hidden, it grows shame and misunderstanding. You see, God created intimacy to be pure, emotional, and spiritual, not something to be exploited or feared. If we look at Genesis 2, verse 24, it says that man leaves his father and mother and is united with his wife, and they become one flesh. That verse is not just about physical connection, it's about unity, trust, and deep emotional and spiritual bonding. We know that different cultures shape how people view sex. Some treat it as taboo, something we should never talk about. Others treat it like it has no meaning at all. But neither of these extremes reflect what God intended. Silence can harm just how much or as much as distortion. When we don't talk about intimacy, we end up in relationships without tools to communicate, set boundaries, or express affection in a healthy way. That's what happened. But talking about sex in a godly way, in an honest way, doesn't lead to sin. Not at all. It leads to wisdom. When you know your worth in Christ, you won't trade it for temporary pleasure or emotional emptiness. Healing begins when we remember that intimacy was meant for unity, not for use, and to express love, not to fulfill loneliness. Intimacy and emotional well being are deeply connected. When intimacy is misused, it can lead to guilt, anxiety, and disconnection. But when practiced in love, trust, and spiritual awareness, it becomes something healing and life giving. God's boundaries around sex aren't there to control you and I, they are there to protect us. Boundaries create safety, not shame. Real intimacy says, I value you, I see you. You are more than a moment. If your experience with intimacy has brought you pain or regret, I want you to know your story is not over. Healing is still possible through prayer, reflection, and honest conversation. You see, true freedom is not about living without limit. It's about limit with wisdom. God designed intimacy to bring comfort, connection, and unity. When we follow his design, it strengthens relationships and bring peace. But when we ignore it, we end up with confusion and guilt. So sex without borders doesn't mean living without rules. It means living without shame. It's time we actually stop letting culture define sex and start letting God redefine its worth of its truth and its purpose. So if this message spoke with you today, take a moment tonight to think about what intimacy really means to you. Pray, reflect, or write your thought down. Healing, guys. Healing begins when truth replaces silence. God's plan for intimacy was never meant to trap you and I, but it was meant to free us. When you bring your heart, mind, your body under His guidance, you will experience love the way it was always meant to be, whole, safe, and sacred. Love without understanding is dangerous, but love guided by God has no borders. I'll see you in the next one.